Let's have a look now at, let's see if we can identify some of these different types of clause and phrase. So I've tried to help you by doing some different colours, but I want to show you that actually you can split these sentences up in lots of different ways. So the baby is smiling is a main clause. You can walk up to someone and say the baby is smiling, and they understand what you mean. That's a complete thought. So the part in black is your main clause, but the part in red, the baby that won the beauty contest. I hope you can see that this part that won the beauty contest, it's a relative clause. It is describing the baby. It's a big adjective describing the baby. It's a clause because it's got a subject, that, and a verb, one. Yeah, as the main elements. Yeah, these are the main elements in the relative clause. So that's a big adjective. It's a clause that's an adjective, and it describes and defines which one. So it's a defining relative clause. There's no comma. Okay, the baby that won the beauty contest is smiling. Okay, and all of the red part is the relative clause. The black part is the main clause. And notice that we don't need the subordinate clause for the sentence to make sense. We could take it out, and that's always the case with the subordinate clause. You can always take it out and you're left with a main clause, which is a complete thought anyway, and so you can just use that. Yeah, but you know, we can analyze this in a slightly different way. We might say, what about all of this altogether? The baby that won the beauty contest. And altogether, I would call that a noun phrase. Why? Well, because baby is at the head of that section. Everything else, that part in red, describes baby, which means that baby is at the top of the hierarchy, and that means that that is a noun phrase. That whole thing, it's a noun phrase with a relative clause inside it. Okay, it's got a relative clause inside it, and notice that the whole thing is the subject of is. Yeah, we could say that the whole thing, the whole noun phrase, is the subject of is, but there's a relative clause inside the noun phrase describing baby. Okay, we've got something very similar on the next one, and I just wanted you to compare the defining relative clause with the non-defining relative clause, which is why I have commas. Your wife, comma, who won the beauty contest, comma, is smiling. Same thing again, your wife is smiling is the main clause, but the non-defining relative clause describes your wife. And again, we can say your wife, who won the beauty contest, is a noun phrase. Really, that's just describing that noun. Yeah, and you know, all of this together is the subject of is. Okay? Okay, look at the next one. When you win the contest, you will receive a trophy. And notice there's a comma here. And there must be a comma here because it is tradition to put a comma after a subordinate clause when the subordinate clause comes first. With younger students, I tell them if you start with an incomplete thought, put a comma before the main clause, before the complete thought, yeah, which is what a main clause is. And so anytime you front a subordinate clause, you put it at the front